darker than usual, but I saw some hope today. Unexpected victories, however small, still.
Welcome to the Open Studio. 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 To the Open Studio. To the Open Studio. Welcome to the Open Studio.
Open it up.
Welcome to the Open Studio. Welcome to the Open Studio. Welcome to the Open Studio. Welcome to the Open Studio.
Open it up.
Welcome to the Open Studio.
Open it up.
Studio. Welcome to the Open Studio.
Open studio.
Welcome to the Open Studio. Open Studio.
Start off in the old chat.
Think you rode the whole world, but you never worked like I did. Lazy and
Hey, what's up, Open Studio fans and friends and family? I'm not in Chicago tonight. I'm taking my first trip back to Ohio to visit family since the pandemic started. So I'm vaxxed and ready to hug my mother, which is probably the least cool thing you can do with the vaccine, but it should still be nice. So yeah, I'm in Marion, Ohio, but feels like, it's no Chicago, but it is the Chicago of Marion County. That's what they call it. So it does feel at home in that way. Frankly, I don't know. This might be the Paris of Marion County. I don't know. But so we're here, coming to you live from the Comfort Inn. It's pretty comfortable. So no lies. TripAdvisor, 5 stars from me so far. We'll see. We're doing 2 beds. I always do 2 double beds instead of 1 queen or 1 king, or sometimes it's like 2 queens and 1. Even if it's just me and a partner, I do the 2 beds. You do 1 sex bed, 1 sleep bed, and that's just a travel tip for you guys. You know how you got to find the luxuries when you can. You know how when you're on a plane, someone doesn't show up for the middle seat. They call that working class, first class, because you get the extra leg room, but you're still in coach. I think the sex bed, that's a little luxury you can get, because it's always the same price as the single bed. So just get the 2. If you're traveling alone, you can also make that an eat bed. I've done that before. So, and if you're with a partner and you're fat like me, I would say the eat bed is the fuck bed. You combine those. You keep the sleep bed separate. You get all your juices and your crumbs in one bed, and then you slumber in the other. So this is the Open Studio. I'm in more than a hotel in the Paris of Marion County, Marion, Ohio. I am in the Dimension in the Open Studio. That is really what this is all about. So thank you guys for tuning in. This is our season finale. We are packed full of guests. We're packed more full of guests than I'm sure one of these hotel rooms is with temporary workers from Guatemala. So we are packed with guests, and we're going to have a fun time. And this is the Open Studio. If you want to be, so the most important part of these announcements are always important. I try to make them fun. I try to give you cool assistant principal energy when I do these, but these are the most important because we might be taking some time off. We'll be back. We got some stuff planned in June, but the variety show is taking a little hiatus because everything's going live, including possibly us. We don't know. Also, we're going to still try to do virtual stuff, but what stuff? We don't totally know yet. So more important than ever, if you enjoy what we do, follow us on Twitch, join the Discord, follow us on all the social medias, because that is just the easiest way to stay in touch. And you'll want to touch us because we'll be shooting out info soon. So keep that touching. I see Jason stretching. He's getting ready to co-host. I think it's it. Spoiler alert if you're or is that spoiler or is that foreshadowing for my literary friends out there? Who's this Jason? You'll soon find out. But yeah, if you like anything you see during the show, we got links all in the description because we got like 6 performers that can be a lot to keep track of. You're like, who is that person that went second and did comedy that was like 3 hours ago? And then you just go down the description. There's more foreshadowing with that. So, and then you'll find her and you click through and find her stuff and follow her and become a fan for life. Probably got a Patreon. You can get behind the paywall. I don't know if she does. Everyone does those, I assume. So guys, this is the Open Studio. We got a great show. Why don't we go to my video and then we'll get the show rolling. So if you remember a few weeks ago, I showed you a gear talk video for spring 2020. We got that was a couple weeks ago. We're now getting warmer outside. It's getting sunnier, warmer, wherever you're at. So I got a gear talk for summer gear. If you guys are looking for some tips, again, it's from last year, but I don't really see that there's been any big fashion adjustments in the past year because I think we've all been doing PJs for the last 14 months. So I think you're allowed to hold over last year's fashion and then we'll get back on the treadmill. So, plus I'm never really fashionable. I just like things that I like. So I don't really it's not like I'm going to be like, all right, Supreme tees, that's gear talk. So anyways, guys, this is, been my opening spiel. We'll get into that video right now, and then we'll continue on with the rest of the show. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. What's going on, Gear Queers? I'm Justin Golak. This is Gear Talk for summer 2020, and on this episode, as always, I'm talking about gear. And the gear I'm talking about this season? Sunglasses. From simp to celebrity, sliding a solid pair of sunnies on your dome is an instant outfit upgrade. Even your factory-stamped Wayfarer knockoffs will turn up the dial on your summertime hotness, but why not ratchet up your flair without raising the gas station rack prices? With an accessory like sunglasses, don't invest in a brand, invest in a spread. Variety is the spice of life, so let's make sure to keep our faces well seasoned this summer. When talking style, we often talk about outfits that transition well from day to night. But what about accoutrements that can do the same? These photochromatic joints start a shady day friendly light gray and then bump up to an opaque black when the UV light hits them. Put these on when you leave the house in the morning and keep them on when you hit the quarter capacity club that night. These lenses will transition with you and keep giving you those sexy Larry David vibes at whatever hour you're out. Where are my control freaks at? Say hey! Say ho! If you're into the idea of being in charge of the shade of your shades, then flip-up lenses might be for you. Not just a Hillman College exclusive, these brown numbers clip onto any pair of standard glasses and give you a standout piece for the solstice months. And if you're round about the 2020 range like myself, they sell non-prescription frames so you can complete the look without medical spectacles. To my near and far-sighted brothers and sisters, I apologize if this is stealing valor. Whether it's jeans or jackets, you know I love lobbing color into any piece that I adorn. And with sunglasses, it's no different. Stray away from the blacks and browns and fix a different tint into your specs. These yellow go-tos make me feel like the cleanest dirtbag whenever I toss them on. While the lighter matte may not provide high-level sun diffusion, the benefit of that downside is you can wear these without encumbrance in any weather, any time of the year, inside and outside. These are less sunglasses and more slick glasses, and they're a great way to remix your face and make your eyes sing. Sunglasses are an enduring eye beam and the foundation of fresh. Rebar meshed throughout the concrete of cool. And even if my phrasing is influenced by the marathon of Ask This Old House I just watched on my PBS app, the sentiment still stands. Get yourself a small selection of these staples, match it to your fit, and give your gear a boost. The only thing you should wear more regularly this summer is a fucking mask, you goddamn ingrates. Stay safe, stay sexy, let's hang soon. All right, we are back. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you guys learned something there. A lot of discussion in the chat about sex beds, and someone said use one as a clothes bed. Nerd, and so you should at least be eating ice cream in that bed if you aren't plowing. But sure, whatever you guys want to do, it's your vacation, have fun out there. And yes, I did start smoking Black and Milds during last year. That was my quarantine project. I got pretty good at it. So some people would call it an addiction. I just call it I mastered the art of smoking Black and Milds. All right, so guys, this show is too big for one host. I would honestly just die from the sheer weight of it if it wasn't for who I'm about to bring up real quick. Is the co-host of the evening. Also, I'm gonna be honest, I have a little bit of thing of watching another man host my show in front of me. It's a weird thing, but I like it. Everybody give it up for my co-host. You know him before because he's hosted all by his lonesome when I could not be available, and he's great, and he's my buddy. So give it up in like real life. Sometimes I'll say that's not true. This is true. Jason Melton, everybody, bring that guy on, buddy.
What's up?
Hey,
Justin,
Jason, how's
what's
it going?
Doing great, man. Great to be here with my buddy.
Yeah, we are real life friends. Tell them.
Yeah.
Tell them so they don't think I'm lying.
That's right. Justin's my real friend, unlike everybody else you'll see tonight. I'm joking. Everybody is welcome to be my friend. I'm an angel today.
Ooh.
I'm on.
Does that make me like the devil? Am I like the devil host?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
I was disappointed that they didn't have a devil costume in the filters.
Yeah, I can't. I'm using I'm using my wife's old laptop, who is in the sleep bed right now, not the sex bed. So not good looking for me. But her old laptop won't do the filters, man. It doesn't have a strong enough operating system or whatever. I know I sound like an 85-year-old man when I just said that, but especially in front of you, you're a coder, so you probably laughing at me.
Yeah, dude, I got tons of RAM.
You said, I saw you throw down in the chat during the vid, you said that you're going to get a bunch of gear soon because you're rich now, so you want to gear up.
Yeah, let everyone know. I'm rich.
We talked about it last time we hung out in real life, which is a thing we could do now. Mm-hmm. And you said you might let me help you pick out some gear with your new look. I did it for my wife recently. I used the verb tan. I said I'll tan you in reference to Tan from Queer Eye, who does the fashion segment, but I made it a verb. So
I didn't like that show. Those guys are too mean. Those queer guys. I
don't know, dude. Sometimes I like a good formula. I like that we like, he gets new clothes. Then Karamo talks to him about race, even if it doesn't matter, and then they get a new house, and then we cry about because Jesus or something or whatever, and then it's a good show.
I stopped watching because there's an episode where they have like they're in this guy's house and he's missing teeth, and they're like in his basement and he's got a bunch of Christmas decorations. By the way, setup. His daughter got him the Queer Eye for the Straight Guy treatment. Like he's just a guy, and then they're in his basement and they start making fun of his Christmas decorations, and I'm like, this guy just gave his daughter a good life. Like, why are they so mean?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I push past that, but that is a very fair criticism. It is very mean. Mm-hmm. Who do you think they should, like, is there a celebrity you can think of, or just someone maybe in your personal life that you think would be good at just helping someone out while not being mean? I don't know. I think like that's I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you might be good at it. You're a Gear Talk person. You could fit
I could get you new jackets without making fun of you. I'd be kind about it. I feel like, did you ever watch that Marie Kondo show where she organized people's houses?
No, I never seen that.
She was pretty nice about it, I thought. And some of these people's houses were straight trash. I'm pretty nice, and I would have made fun of them. And she was like, "No, you just got a little clutter.
I got a new apartment. I'm moving into a new apartment this weekend, and I had this whole fantasy in my head, like it's gonna be great, like I'm gonna move into this. It's going to be chill. I'm going to have it set up perfect. But as I'm moving all my stuff to the new apartment, I realize it's just going to be the same stuff in a new place. Like nothing's going to be different about it at all.
No. So you got to get new stuff too. But it is, it's fine. I still think a new apartment is good. It's funny that you're like, I had this dream, which to me just when you started saying it, just sounded like general optimism that things would get better.
Yeah. I thought, no, I did. I was like, I'm going to live in a great place. But it's just like I took all my clutter and all my garbage and I just put it in boxes, and now it's in boxes. It's even worse.
Yeah, not to Marie Kondo you, because I do want to only tan you, but I will condo you. You got to dump that stuff. I did that back in my early 20s. I was just like, dude, I am moving so much stuff that I just set it up and wait to move again and then move it. Like I don't fucking touch it or look at it. So, all right, guys, we got plenty. I think we should. I mean,
the producer to get off our backs.
Yeah, I mean, so here's the thing. Our producer is right. I mean, if I could make an executive decision, we would just talk about our lives for 3 hours. That would be the show. We would thank the guests at the end, say that they got bumped, and we'd love to have them back in the future. But I think we should move the show forward. Jason, I get to introduce the first guest, but you get to actually talk to them afterwards. And then we'll be going back and forth after that. So do you want to, do you want to tell them who all the guests are except the very next guest? Because I'll do that, and then you'll talk to them.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. I'll tell you everyone we have on the show except for the next guest.
Yes.
So tonight you're going to see a lot of great acts. You're going to see comedy from Kendall Klitsky, drag from Coco Chanel, video by Harley Foose, poetry by Rivani Grace, and we're going to close it out with music by Wallace Tallman. But Justin, what do we have next? What do we have next for the people?
But next we got an amazing musical act. This guy's going to blow you away. So talented. And then Jason will talk to him afterwards, and then we'll just keep the show rolling from there. So everybody give a virtual round of applause for the very talented Daniel Myers, everybody.
Yeah.
Come on over closer, baby. Show you what you get. She got them blueberry apple type of eyes, yeah. Yeah, she got them blueberry apple type of eyes, yeah. Yeah, she got that blueberry type of girl you do, Mary. Don't know what to do, really. Damn, that girl is too pretty. Blueberry.
Tired of the wind, I'm tired of how it lies. I'm tired of the hole in the bottom of the sky. My prayers fall through and they tumble with the rain. They come out cleaner, but they've gone unanswered just the same. I'm tired of where I've been, I'm tired of trying to hide. I'm tired of the truth as it's tired of the lies. About my brother and his keeper and the one that got away. I'm tired of the feeling, I know what they're gonna say. I know what this looks like. 'Cause I saw it coming and plain, and I heard it echo in the way we pray. Inside a wilderness, depending on old rivers to bring change. I heard it coming, but I could not feel the rain. I settled with the road, I settled with the pack. I settled with the weight and with never looking back. I settled too much, I never settled for enough. Only settled for the walking 'cause it made me feel tough. And I know what this looks like. 'Cause I saw it coming and plain. I heard it echo in the way we pray. Inside a wilderness, depending on old rivers to bring change. I heard it coming, but I could not feel the rain. Inside that wilderness, depending on old rivers to bring change. I heard it coming, but I could not feel the rain. coming down plain, and I heard it echo in the way we prayed inside a wilderness, depending on old rivers to bring change. I heard it coming, but I could not feel the rain. Inside a wilderness, depending on old rivers to bring change. I heard it coming, but I could not feel the rain.
On this great adventure called life, I feel like we've been here before, for sure, for sure, for sure. Deja vu, deja vu.
What's up, Daniel? How's it going?
I'm doing great. How about you, Jason?
Dude, really good, especially after hearing your music. That was beautiful. Nice job. Well done.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I had to put on my cool glasses.
Yeah.
To feel like-
Do those do the flip?
yeah.
those are the rebar mesh and the concrete of cool.
Yeah. I'm just like in a bright sun, so the dark came in. But if you know those glasses that get dark when you're in the sun. Yeah. So look out behind you. There's a coronavirus cell. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, I appreciate the heads up.
All those, but you have like a really cool.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask what is going on behind you.
This is wallpaper that my wife selected, and we were lucky to get that put up before COVID.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So if you ever want to come over and eat mushrooms and stare at my wall for 8 hours.
Have you done that before?
No, never.
Man, that would be fun. I haven't done mushrooms in years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to take your vitamins.
Yeah. I feel like every once in a while you got to do them and clear out all the rules that are in your head.
It's good mental health hygiene, I think.
Yeah. My buddy, he got really excited. He's like, "We're gonna do mushrooms and watch the Super Bowl." He thought it would be like really fun.
Yeah.
It was not. He said it was the worst experience of his life. He's like, we were just like, why are the rules? Like, what's offsides? It's just a field, man.
He's not necessarily wrong, but I could see how it would maybe sap some of the enjoyment from it.
Yeah. So, can I ask, was that was an original song or?
Yeah, that was one I wrote yesterday. So I
brand new.
Yeah, COVID was a huge writer's block experience for me. So I have an ambient project called Jade Helm that was pretty active. That was a friend of mine, so we could share files and stuff like that. But as far as songwriting, it was just real tough. But things are starting to open up again, feeling better, getting the pen and paper back out. So
nice. You were like immediately like, I'm gonna write a song about being hurt now that everything.
Yeah, I remember doing this. Now I can get back to like regular depression.
Yeah, not the extra depression. No, man, it was a beautiful song. I felt similar, like just blocked by COVID. Were you performing at all, or how did you spend your COVID?
I did a few online shows, but I really love playing rock and roll with a band, and if it's not doing that, I feel pretty out of place. So that was one of the benefits, just identifying ways. Like if I want to keep playing music, you got to do it in a way you're not comfortable with, and you can't fall back on the bass player making you look good. Like you have to like sit down and practice, Dan.
No, it's true. It is weird. Yeah, when the electric guitar sustains for you, and you have like a drummer, it does so much work for you as a guitar player.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So are you playing with a band out? Are you looking for shows?
Yeah, I'm kind of rebuilding a backing band for stuff like I just played, and then I released a solo album right in the middle of COVID. It had already been recorded, but I went ahead and put it out. That's called Soy Boy Blues, and that's up on anywhere you stream quality local independent music.
Yeah, nice. It looks like they're plugging your stuff in the chat right now, so you guys can go check out that right there.
Super duper.
We got some bass fans also. People who are fans of the bass.
Yeah, there's bass on it. Other things too. Yeah. There's a drum, multiple drums.
Yeah, they got not just air.
Yeah, I got to record that with Lisa Belladonna, who is a fantastic engineer, and she's a synth wizard and has all kinds of cool guitar pedals. So we had just mountains of 70s synthesizers and mellotrons and reverb pedals and tape delays. So that was a lot of fun. I had a lot more than an acoustic guitar.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, they're once again telling us to wrap up. These producers are always on my ass, But before we go, so you plug your albums, and we've been putting your stuff in Spotify. Do you want to plug anything, or like, what's your favorite thing you've ever made that you think people should go listen to?
I think I'm going to plug the ambient stuff. Check out Jade Helm. The album is called That's How I Always Feel. And that was made, that was the art I made in quarantine in response to feeling like absolute shit in quarantine. So if you are nostalgic for that angst of early pandemic, then check out the ambient stuff, or check out Soy Boy Blues to hear the rock and roll.
Hell yeah. So that's a good tip for the crowd. Everybody in the chat, give it up one more time for Daniel Myers, everybody. Daniel Myers.
Thank you very much.
All right, folks, we got, like we've already mentioned, a jam-packed show. Excited to bring on our next guest, a very funny comedian. Everybody go crazy in your homes for Kendall Klitsky.
What's your excuse? If you gotta throw hands. If there's an issue, what's your excuse? If you wanna throw hands. I'm not a tough guy, just a blunt guy. And what a one guy is a slow ride with a big shake and some large fries. Little screw tape speed till the sunrise. Dangerous. Why so dangerous?
Hi, I'm Kendall Klitsky, and I'm very excited to be doing my first and last virtual show. About me, I'm a negative person who successfully masquerades as a positive person. I've really been shining in this last year. And positive people always think that we negative people think that we're better than them. And that's not entirely true. The main difference between a positive person and a negative person is that a positive person could look out on a field of wildflowers and think, oh, what a gorgeous day. What a beautiful field. Whereas a negative person knows that that is a field full of bees. Think about it. That's the primary difference. If you at home are a positive person, and I'm sure many of you are still out there, you are only positive because you do not wake up every morning reminding yourself of the fact that there are spiders that eat birds. You cannot believe that the universe is kind or just when you acknowledge that very real fact. I have a lot of reasons to be negative. I work at a travel and camping store the year that everyone decided that they needed outdoor hobbies. So it's been a real doozy. And before that, I sold wedding dresses for 3.5 years. So I specialize in selling things to people who don't know what the fuck they're doing. And selling wedding dresses was a very interesting job because you really just have to keep people who are at their most unhinged calm. And I'll tell you one story that has really stuck with me. I was taking an appointment once, and there was a girl in this dress, and it was blush or champagne or some other made-up color. And I heard a voice coming from behind me, and it was her mother saying, "But don't you want to wear white? You've worked so hard for white." I never wanted to keep cancel an appointment in the middle of it so quickly because at the time I was pretty so-so on the institution of marriage, but I very firmly believed that nobody should marry somebody that they have not fucked yet. That is lunacy. I know, bold opinions out here on the internet. That's insane. And like I know that not everybody feels that way. Like I was raised Catholic. I get it. But occasionally you'll hear usually a man talking to a woman saying something to the effect of, well, why would you buy the cow if you can get the milk for free? But if you take that question to its logical solution, why would you buy a cow if you have never tasted the milk? That seems like an irresponsible decision for a farmer, let alone someone who would be committing to what could be at best mediocre sex for the rest of their lives. Yeah, I have a very polite boyfriend. He never comes inside me without knocking first. We have a lot of weddings coming up, and he's a big dancer at family weddings. I'm going to 4 weddings this year, and it's sad that he loves dancing at family weddings so much because I can't, and it is only because of this. And I have to tell you that dancing is the fucking of standing, and I cannot do that in front of everyone's family. It's just not okay. I can't do it. Like sometimes you'll get a couple drinks in me, and I can slow dance because slow dancing is the missionary of dancing, which you can always do in front of your family. I think that people often equate their ability to dance with your sexual prowess. I think that it's a very common thing. And I think that like how you dance does say a lot about what you're like in bed. Like the polka, the hora, like all cultural dances, that's just kind of like mutual masturbation. You're just kind of doing the same thing next to each other. If you can tango, you have sex just to show off. And your partner will eventually realize that you just have 3 moves that you repeat over and over again. The paso doble is role playing as a bullfighter who fucks a Kate. If you got that reference, congratulations, because you've seen Dancing with the Stars at least once. Skanking and moshing are for people who like to make eye contact and then cry after. I know the styles of dance don't necessarily line up with that, but I have dated a lot of people who love punk and ska, so I can confirm that that's true. If you can cha-cha, you're probably pretty good in bed. The cha-cha slide, however, indicates that you are a virgin or you have forgotten how. However, I do have to say, and I will leave you on this, that line dancing is anal, but it is anal exclusively for the Christian girls that are saving their vaginas for their husbands and Jesus and a white dress. And that is my time. Thank you very much.
Truth around your lies. We won't go away. No, not this time. If this is human nature, I don't want to be human.
Hey, what's up, Kendall? How's it going?
Hey, bud. It's good. How are you?
We are actually, I guess I did like that. We are actual real life friends too.
Yes.
So I don't have to pretend with you. I stayed a virgin until my wedding night. I did.
That was a mistake.
On the wedding night, I was like, oof, not for me. It was real. I found out I was a homosexual on my wedding night. It's very awkward, but sticking out the marriage.
You probably weren't the first. You probably were not the first that has happened to.
Yeah, it was a real bummer, but I'm sticking with the marriage. I believe in vows, so I'm sticking it out, and we make a good team, so it works. Kendall, man, yeah, you really did transition into the outdoor living sector of retail at a very fun time. What was the most common hobby like you saw people start to pick up? Gotta be kayaking, right?
It's riding a bike became huge. Cycling Cycling shit is still never recovered. But it would be fun. The thing that I would notice the most is that especially when like travel bans were very much in place, I would talk to dozens of people who were going to the exact same national park, like each it was just like a different one, like one after the other. And it's like, oh yeah, I know exactly where all of you dum-dums are going when you shouldn't be traveling during a pandemic. I mean,
it is funny because if you selectively shut down, it's like you're trying to like stop the spread, but then you're just funneling the least caring people into tighter spaces.
Yeah. It's it was pretty wild. I don't fault people for wanting to see, you know, like our national parks and nature's wonders, but it's like, you know, those things are hopefully still going to be here for, you know, a couple 100 years.
I think we got at least 10, 20, man. You'll have time, I think.
Fully kill the planet, you know?
Are those shrimps on your shirt?
Yes, they are.
Love shrimp. I had some shrimp last night. I was home alone. I treated myself to some steak and shrimp. I did a little surf and turf for myself. I felt like I was having a little treat for myself. What is your favorite? I don't want to get too Bubba Gump on you, but what's your favorite way to enjoy shrimp?
Oh man,
we asked the tough shrimp questions on this show. I don't know if you were prepped for it, but
I gotta go. What came to mind first? I gotta go with a shrimp cocktail. I love it.
Yeah, that's what I had last night, and I agree. Shrimp cocktail, underrated. Now, second question, follow up. I've had this argument with people, shrimp cocktail, classy or trashy?
Classy.
Nah, it's trashy, for sure.
What?
Yeah, I think so. I think that maybe at one time it was classy, but now it's full on. You're pulling them out of the Walmart frozen food section. You're letting them thaw for a day. You probably can't even wait that day, so you're just thawing them off in the sink. You know, I mean, they come with ketchup. That's trashy. I mean, I love them, but I'm just saying that's trashy.
I mean, is it one of those things that's like trashy if you're poor, but good if you're rich? Is it?
I think it's like all presentation, right? Because you could get shrimp at a nice restaurant, and how's it coming out? In like a champagne glass, 4 of them. You know what I mean? With like the ice in the middle of the glass, like, and you're like, well, you've ruined the point of the shrimp cocktail is I eat 85 of them. That's what makes the shrimp cocktail fun.
You need to eat so many before dinner that the rest of the family is furious with you for eating so much and getting sick. I
eat shrimp cocktail until I can physically feel the beginning effects of mercury poisoning. That's how I crush shrimp cocktail. So that's just what I do. Kendall, are you excited? We talked a little bit pre-show. You said you're fully vaxxed. You're in your 2-week window, but you're new to it. What are you excited to get? Who are you excited to have spit on you? What are you getting into?
I think I'm genuinely excited to go back to open mics, which is an insane thing to say. In the before times, I was the producer of 2 bar shows in places that do not serve food. So I'm excited, and I'm looking forward to being able to run those shows again, because I produce them with my best friends. It was 2 shows called the Neapolitan at the Store and the Cupcake Comedy Cabaret at the Gallery Cabaret.
I did both of them. They were both great. Full vouch for both. Double vouch. Rare double vouch on the show.
So yeah, I'm excited. I'm just excited to get back out there and start seeing people again, you know?
Oh yeah. Well, we're glad to be your first and last on the Zoom. You crushed it. Made me miss your material. And it's nice that like we've had stand-ups I know on here like months ago, you know, when we first started. It's like, damn, it's like it makes me miss seeing you perform, and I don't get to see you for like months. But with you, maybe I'll bump into you next week and get to see the jokes. So this is a more fun kind of seeing you on the Zoom, because it's like, all right, almost real time. But Kendall, thank you so much for doing our show, man. You crush it. You're the best.
Thank you so much for having me.
Hell yeah. Kendall Klitsky, everybody. Dude, I love Kendall. I think your stuff is so funny. All right. So yeah, that is Kendall. We got one more guest. And then we got a little something special for you after that, I believe, if I'm reading this Google Doc correctly. So guys, everybody, big round of virtual applause. I believe this is our first performer of this kind that we've had on the show. So a very exciting treat, really blowing it up on the season finale. Everybody, virtual round of applause for some drag performance from Coco Chanel.
Meine Damen und Herren, Mesdames et Messieurs, ladies and gentlemen. But now,
Skip that club.
is proud to present
Very beautiful young lady. She's so beautiful. So talented. So
charming. I have only yesterday said, I want you for my wife. And she said,
Your wife, what would she want with
She
me?
want with me. I give you that international sensation, Fräulein Sally Bowles.
You have to understand the way I might have. A tiger is a tiger, not a lamb, my dear. You'll never turn the vinegar to jam, my dear. So what I do, when I'm through, then I'm through, and I'm through. Toodaloo. Farewell, mine lieb, mine Herr. It was a fine affair, but now it's over. And though I used to care, I need thee, oh better. You're better off without me, mine Herr. Don't tap your eye, mine Herr, or wonder why, mine Herr. I always said that I was a rover. You must admit you're proud, you should have known by now. You're very close to doubt me, mine Herr. The continent of Europe is so wide, mine Herr. Not only up and down, but side to side, mine Herr. I couldn't ever cross it if I tried, mine Herr. But I do what I can, inch by inch, step by step, mile by mile, man by man, mine lieb, mine Herr. Farewell, mine lieb, mine Herr. It was a fine affair, but now it's over. And though I used to care, I need thee, oh better. You're better off without me, mine Herr. Don't tap my hair, I wonder why, my hair. I always said that I was a rover. You must admit, girl, you should have known, my hair. You're very close to doubt me, my hair. Mein Herr, und Wiedersehen, mein Herr, tut was sehr gut, mein Herr, und wunderbar, tut was wie vor, mein Herr, and never go, mein Herr. It was a fine affair, but now it's over. And you used to care anything. Oh, better, you're better off without me. Don't get on without me.
Emotions are spilling, don't act like you know me when I hit a Billy, you bitch. Place that ceiling, watch me break it down. Break it down.
Buongiorno.
Hey, what's up, Coco? How's it going?
I'm well. How are you?
Doing great. Great performance in that video. That was awesome.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Of course. I feel bad. I'm a total novice. I've probably seen drag now twice in my life.
Oh.
So I thought that I could ask you. You're probably an expert on it. I assume you do it.
I mean, I've been doing it for over 2 decades now.
Yeah, there you go. True expert here. So when I watch it, I see an awesome show. I don't really know how to judge it. Like, what do you look for as somebody who's been doing it so long? Like, what do you look for? What makes it good or bad to you?
I say it's just like theater. You want to make sure you're having a connection to your audience members, and making sure that you know the words, because some people don't know the words, and
so
that happens. And then
that was really serious. You were really
have a good time.
Sorry, can you say that one more time? I missed the last thing.
Oh, sure. And you also want to have a good time. You want to make sure if you're having a good time, everyone else is going to have a good time. So
it's a party.
It is definitely an art form.
Yeah. So in that though, am I wrong? Do a lot of people lip sync during drag, but you were really singing?
Yes, that was my actual voice. I do both. So I sing live and also will lip sync as well.
Yeah.
It just depends on the venue and what we're doing and what kind of event it is. I consider myself a versatile queen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it makes you seem like way more of a badass if you come out really singing as opposed to using the stupid backing track, showing everyone.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Also, super happy you chose a song with accordion in it. That accordion rocks in the middle there.
Yeah. Well, it's actually from the musical Cabaret, if you know the musical or ever seen the movie.
I dated somebody who was into musical theater, and it was a huge problem.
Why?
Because I didn't like it,
Okay. I'm going to say this. I'm going to stop you right there, okay? So what it is you need to find out the right show for you.
Okay.
That's what you need to do.
You have a recommend? All right, so I'll tell you, I watched this one called Rent, and I was like, why are all these people singing? They have serious problems,
This is true. I mean, Rent is based off of the opera La Boheme, which is a very sad and really downtrodden musical. So I would look at, depending on what your style is, what I would look at for you is a musical called Rock of Ages. It's a jukebox musical. Yeah, it's a jukebox musical, so it's all music from like the 80s. So it's like hair bands, things like that, Journey, and you can rock to it. It's a fun story, and I think you should check that out. I think you'll enjoy that.
I just wrote it down. I'm going to check it out for sure.
Yes.
I'll give it a chance. Let me think. I do love a Pixar movie or Moana, and that's same thing, right?
It's a musical. Lin-Manuel, he wrote it. The musical.
Yeah.
So, and we have
right.
So.
Yeah. What's your all-time favorite musical? What's your favorite one?
It's a tie. So I love the musical Pippin. It's a 70s musical that was directed by Bob Fosse. And another one is Sweeney Todd. Those are my tie two.
Yeah. Borat was in that one.
Yes, he was. He was in that movie. He actually did a really good job in that movie. I have to give him credit.
I know. I was blown away. I was like, that's Borat, but I'm scared of him. He's like a scary kind of guy. And then it's...
Yeah, and then he got flipped. Spoilers.
Yeah, that's cool how he's killing everybody. Yeah, great. But then again, it always
goes like that too. The original show has a lot of blood and guts and things. So
I love that. I like the violence. They should do an action movie musical. Have they done that yet?
Yes, they have. Spider-Man the musical.
Spider-Man the musical. All right.
So they're after that.
I saw. There was one other musical I saw live called Grease 2 at one point, and then they changed it. I had a friend who was in it. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I know. No,
Yeah.
we don't talk about that.
It was incredible. Or is it not cool? I thought it was so good.
Everyone likes what they like.
Okay.
And I'll put it
All
that
right.
way.
I feel like I said something bad and you're not telling me.
No, you're fine. You're fine. You're fine. These are the jokes. They don't get any better. That's why you gotta keep drinking. Keep drinking.
I gotta start drinking again. All right, they're producers. Jesus Christ, they're on me again. So I have a note here. You have a monthly show called Boys Lesque with Ben DeMann. Do you want to plug that?
It's basically a male presenting a burlesque show, and we do different numbers. And our next show is going to be June 18th. And since Pride is coming up, I'm going to put in our chat in Twitch.com all the events that you can find me at for the lovely month of June.
Absolutely. I mean, I think we're plugging your Facebook right now. Can people find stuff that way? So there is a link in the chat now if you want to check out some more drag from Coco. Yeah, and then anything else you really want to push before we wrap up?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can find me this Saturday and the following June 5th at Dick's Are You Crazy in Hammond, Indiana. Yes. And on Twitch.com/50man. I'll be there online. So it's going to be amazing.
Yeah. I grew up in Highland, Indiana, which is like a town over. So.
Yeah, okay. I grew up in Dalton, Illinois, so right at the border.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I know. I used to deliver pizzas around there. All right, everybody, give it up one more time for Coco. Please go check out one of her shows soon. Give it up for her. Hell yeah.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Hell yeah. We're going to keep the show rolling. I'm pulling up my tab here. We have so many guests, I forgot the order. Here it is. Oh, we're going to bring Justin back. Ladies and gentlemen, you might remember this guy, Justin. Look at me, I'm all screwed up.
Hour after hour, lost in the lights, shaking my fist, nothing satisfied.
What up, Justin?
Hey.
I guess this is the intermission check-in.
Yeah, we're at the halfway point, and so basically just like halfway through the show, just do a little intermission. And I think the producers wanted us just to take like 15, 20 minutes and just kind of debate this whole Israel-Palestine thing.
Oh.
So
I got it all figured out.
What side do you want to take? I could take either. I don't like either side, so I could take either side.
You know what? When two children fight over something, the best option is you take away what they both want.
Yeah.
So I think we nuke it. We just nuke the whole. No.
I think we should threaten to cut it in half, and whichever country says no, we'd rather they have it. That's the real citizens.
Yeah, we pull up. I'm sure they're not familiar with that story.
Yeah, they won't even see it coming.
The story from their book.
Yeah. Isn't it funny? It's all like the same. It's all like the same religion, like Judaism, Christianity, and I like to think of it. It's like it's the same religion. It's just like they're different. They're different chapters, but it's the same story. It's like I think of it as like Christopher Nolan's Batman. Like
it's interesting. Depending on which chapter of this book you read, you go to hell in the other chapters.
Right. It's like, but that's why I think of it as like Christopher Nolan's Batman, because like the fandom around it is very crazy. Whatever movie you thought was the best, you're very adamant and you think the rest suck.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Batman doesn't care.
No, he doesn't care. Christopher Bale's just cashing those checks, and then he's going to go lose like 300 pounds and, play like a skinny guy and win an Oscar or something.
Yeah. He did Dick Cheney and he did The Machinist, right?
Yeah.
I wonder how his skin is.
I bet it's disgusting, but his face is so good that it doesn't matter,
He's probably like wearing like a circus tent of a skin,
Yeah, he has to be putting like, I don't know, like he's got a baby oil up like every day or something to keep that elasticity, I think.
Yeah, he's probably rich enough to figure it out.
Yeah. Isn't that scary? Like as someone that's like, you have gorgeous hair, Jason. I don't know if people saw the kind of title card. I mean, those are two hot dudes, and what's great is I think we have different hotnesses, so man, we could really crush it out there, just a little flavor for everybody. But I was gonna say, like, you have beautiful hair, Jason. I'm losing my hair, which I don't mind because I never had good hair. But like, do you ever see a rich person have your problem and can't solve it? And you're like, well, then there's no hope.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I always see like LeBron is balding so awfully and he's like a billionaire. So I'm like, clearly there's no cure for baldness. Like I'm clearly screwed.
Bill Gates' wife just left him, right?
Yeah, so there's no cure for unloyal hoes, right?
Is that what happened? She cheated on him?
No, I think he had sex with a teenager on Epstein's Island.
Ah, yeah.
She was a little miffed about that.
My wife hates it when I do that.
Yeah, I know. I mean, these women, they just don't understand. Sometimes just gotta hang out with the boys, sip a little adrenochrome on the beach.
Everybody's leaving the chat. I see everybody leaving the chat.
All right, well, I think we can bring up the next. I think that was a good out. That is me. I will, right? No, because I interview. You got to bring up the next performer because then I interview him. So I will step out of your way, Jason. It was good checking back in with you. I think we solved the Middle East.
Always good to step in and solve everybody's problems whenever we need to. I looked it up and I knew, but now I forgot. Ladies and gentlemen, we're presenting a very special video. It's going to be awesome. Very excited to present a video by Harley Foose. Harley Foose.
Talk about it. They don't really want to talk about it. Talk about it. Talk about it. They don't really want to talk about it. They don't.
Je suis boule. Black hole pulsars emanate, rich and booming bass. Sordid planets ruminate on dominating space. Tails of comets grace the skies, stars light up the field. Cosmic horses jump their bits, pages shine their shields. Banners wave without a wind, silent gods rejoice. Hearts beating under sufficient, squires make their choice. No such honor does compare to taking up the lance. Crashing nights collide in space when interstellar dance. Floating over stars, racing towards one night. Steady hands prepare for space jousting. Smokestacks billow ruby dust, diamonds shower down. Old equipment left to rust, littering the ground. Hazy skies suggest a time that's long before the past. Ancient horseshoes draw the line where shining nights would clash. Here was valor, here was pride, fought out on this turf. Here were maids with shining eyes, here was coffee serfs. Martian kings with endless schmaltz with planetary dames. Imagining their spatial walks called splendor from the grave. Floating over stars, racing towards one night. Steady hands prepare for space jousting. Floating over stars, racing towards one night. Steady hands prepare for space jousting.
When the things get for real, my warm heart turns cold. Every man for himself in his land, we be gunning. Quick to judge me. For real, check it. Born alone, die alone.
All right, everybody, we are back with Harley Foose. Man, that video was crazy wild. Loved every second of it. I don't know, like with something like that, like I guess it's like it's honestly like maybe think of like a mainstream kind of film. Like when I watch like Mad Max, like the new one, like Fury Road, I'm like, what's the script like on that one? You know what I mean? Just like, is it like there's no dialogue, it's just 18 car chases? Like, what do you do when you kind of like are creating something like that? Are you storyboarding? Are you jotting notes? Are you kind of like directing on the fly when you have like your actors in front of camera and stuff like that? Like, what's the process like?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, I've been making music videos for a couple years now, so I sort of developed my own process for scripting them, where I'll put like bolded time codes of the song for like, you know, one or two measures, and then I write out what happens in those time codes. And then for this video, I heard this song, and it's just like, to me, such a clear vibe. And I talked a little bit with the musician Bull Goes Boing, who's really awesome. You should check out her Spotify. So yeah, and I made like a little mood board, and she was like, that's exactly what I was picturing. So that's like a good way to communicate with the musician, is like just sort of like grab some visuals from other places and see if you're on the same page.
How many different artists have you worked with in terms of musical artists for making like music videos? Do you have like a lot that you work with? You kind of work with a couple and kind of like vibe with them? What's your kind of thing on that?
I love working with new artists. If anyone is watching and needs a music video, hit me up. I love making new connections and making videos. I've worked with maybe like 5 artists, but I really got started working with Blackerface, who is a Chicago band, and I've made 3 of their videos for my friends in real life, you know, so.
What do you do that? Do you get the song? Do you have an idea? I know you described the process on this video. Is it similar like for all of them, or is like do you like to hear the music and kind of think, or do you like to like have an idea and kind of fit it to the music or some blend of it? Or is it like just listen to the song 10 times and just start like jotting down notes, like you said, make a mood board, things like that?
Yeah, definitely like to hear the song first and talk to the artist and see if, because some people come in, I've made a music video where they were like, they sent me a script, and then I was like, okay, like I'll make this happen, you know? Because sometimes they do have a specific idea. So I like to hear it and then like jot down whatever it makes me think of. And then before I say what my ideas were, I'm like, okay, what do you want? Like, because yeah, it's making music videos is an interesting process where it's like, yeah, I'm the director, but in a way, like I have a client, you know, this is like, has to fit with like the persona of the artist. And so I always kind of defer to them.
Yeah, I've been doing some projects on my Instagram, not necessarily like music videos, but like where I have like captured audio and then I make video for it separate. And it is fun. I mean, as someone that doesn't do like a ton of filmmaking, like, so I don't have like a ton compared to, it's so fun because, you know, you're not really shooting like a narrative in the same way you would if you were like doing a film or a short film. So it's like, I don't know, you're kind of just like capturing a lot of footage. You're kind of just like, that's cool, let's shoot that. Because you're like, we can put it together later in editing, which I know you can do with any kind of film, but it's like, it just feels like a little bit more elasticity. So I don't know if you have fun like in the music video format. It seems like I said, doing projects that are similar myself, it seems like a lot of fun. So I can only imagine if someone brings you like a cool song like that last song, and you kind of have these wild ideas, we'll do a green screen, we'll do cardboard, you know, like paper cutouts and a dog and stuff. Like I can only imagine that seems like it'd be like a fun shoot, a fun edit, as fun as video editing can be, you know, like I imagine it's a good time.
Yeah, this was one of the most fun videos I've ever done. Just, I drew all the backgrounds, like the dog was a joy. And yeah, I just kind of got my roommates to do the green screen. Oh, something that's fun about this video is that Judy, aka Bull Goes Boing, lives in New York and I live in Chicago. And so we actually filmed it remotely, and she filmed all her parts on a green screen in New York. And then I filmed the rest of it over here. And then she made some of the props that are like, you know, the backgrounds, and I made some of them. So it was just such a fun process.
That's awesome. I've been collaborating with a lot of people remotely that I've known for a while, but maybe they just didn't live in my city. So I don't know, for some reason that seemed like, oh, you work with people around you, but since no one was around you for the last year, I ended up like connecting with like a lot of people, and it's nice because they're real talented and I got good work out of it. So it's cool. The last thing I was just going to ask you about, just in general, just less about like your work, and just, it's so interesting to me. I don't know how old you are, and you don't have to say, but I'm 36. I was born in 84. So it's like, I was talking to someone recently. It's like, you know, I grew up in middle school, there was music videos, and then they went away. And since there was one station playing them and then they didn't play them anymore, you're like, well, this is clearly a dead art form. Like, how could it come back? The one thing that supported it is playing reality TV. Now this is a dead art form. But with YouTube, it's like, I feel like music videos are bigger than ever. I feel like, especially major artists who have the budget, they'll put out like 5 or 6 videos per album, which was crazy back then. You got like maybe 1 or 2, even on major albums. And like now with independent artists, you can, with the democratization of like creating digitally, like even they can like put out a ton of videos or at least a couple for their albums. I don't know. I think it's great. I love connecting music with video as just a viewer. So I don't know if it's been fun for you to like watch that, if you've been into music videos before, like you started making them, and like what you think about it. But I think it's wild. I did not expect it, and I like it.
Yeah, I think it's great. I love watching music videos. It's also, for me, like I'm more of a visual person. And so that's actually how I will get into artists, is like I have a hard time just sitting down to listen to like new music. But with the videos, it's like such a good entry point. And YouTube is great for facilitating a big rabbit hole of just watching a lot of music videos.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I would say, yeah, like most people, I probably listen to music audio only if it's stuff that I know. Mm-hmm. But I would agree, probably over the last 2 or 3 years, a good majority of like the new music I've gotten into has probably been through like a YouTube video, of their song. Because it just, I feel like you said, like when you're on YouTube or something like that, that's probably when you're more likely to be in like I'll click this, I'll click that. Like you're feeling more experimental, at least for me. I know some people find artists on Spotify and whatnot, but like for me, it does feel like a more exploratory medium because of the video. Something about it just feels more exploratory. So I agree. I do find most of my new music there. I never thought about it till you said it, but that is like a really true point. Well, Harley, thank you for showing the vid, man. It was great. And yeah, you have to, let me see, because you changed it, but we're still going to plug it. You got a short. Okay. Yeah, is it the thing on June 12th?
Yeah, so I produced,
nice. Shout it out.
Yeah, I produced a short film called Black Pill. It's a sci-fi horror film about a near future that's a little bit worse than this one. And our protagonist is a trans person who's really depressed, and they order these mysterious pills on the internet that promise to make their dreams come true. And won't spoil it anymore, but it's dropping on June 12th on Open TV. So yeah, keep an eye out and follow OTV.
Hell yeah. Yeah, OTV, follow that. Follow Harley over on Instagram. And thank you so much for coming on the show, man. Your stuff is rad. So I'll definitely check out more of it. And I hope everyone does the same. Thanks, Harley.
Thank you.
Hell yeah. All right. So that was Harley. They were great. And we got a couple more performers coming up. This next performer, been on the show before, very talented. They did great last time they were on. So sure it will also be great this time. So everybody, big virtual, get your ones and zeros clapping for Ravani Grace.
I jump in the game, I'm breaking them bad. I came to my senses, this ain't just a fad. You on the wrong side, you feeling the wrath. It's my time to work, I went straight to the draft. Cause yeah, it's my time. Hey, yeah, hey, hey, yeah, it's my time. Hey, yeah, it's my, hey, yeah, it's my, hey. Dream chasing, ain't getting no sleep. I'm jumping off.
Hey y'all, I'm gonna read you some poems. This one is a newer one. It is from a little EP, a little poetry EP that'll be up on my Bandcamp within the next week or two. Gloria Anzaldúa poem number 3. I wonder if this is erasure. What right do I have to invoke the name of a God who has never been a part of my blood? And what is my blood? An incongruent part. My mother's ancestors killed my father's ancestors. My father's gods kept his mother tending the cooking fires, or perhaps more accurately, my father's gods kept his mother's servants tending the cooking fire. My mother's God soaked this land in blood that is not my blood. My mother's God speaks in tongues, it is said, yet it is my mother's God that forced my mother's tongue into my father's mouth. I am not Matisse. though I am a woman caught between having two countries and none, Indian, European, neither. When I lived in Pilsen, me and the white queers I called kin worried about gentrification, an urban form of colonization, yet at the Pink Line, an old woman spoke to me in Spanish. I could not return the speech, but felt I ought be able to. I wonder if this is something like what Gloria is talking about. My people are not yet a people, perhaps never will be. And so I am unsure what, if anything, is mine. Though, if Gloria has a thin strip of barbed wire, then perhaps I have the ocean. If nothing else, they are both a dangerous home. My body has always been a dangerous home. And this too, I think Gloria would understand. She says, as a lesbian, I have no race. My own people disclaim me, but I am also all races because there is the queer of me in all races, and this is a comforting thought, though I know it is no invitation. That was that first one, and the second one is a really old one. It's like 4 years old at this point. I'm watching the sunrise reflected off the bellies of seagulls. On the dawn of my 21st year, I will stumble into work, hung over as fuck, the echoes of a queer dance floor and failed break-in attempt reverberating through my thighs. Tommy jumped from metro tracks into an open window as we tried to Trojan horse our way into an abandoned building before luxury condos tore down another part of a city that we were learning to call home. An alarm went off in the basement and we all took off sprinting and laughing, invincible, intoxicated by midnight air and vodka and Red Bull. We danced to punk music and Hans read a poem. We are claiming clean air in these tiny rebellions, a revolution of young bodies freed from panic for a night, but we aren't changing the world though. Tomorrow, the pigs will send a new soul to heaven, and we will take to the streets if we aren't working. Israeli soldiers will force Palestinians from their home, and we will take to the streets if we aren't working. Nazi fuckers will murder innocent people, and we will take to the streets if we aren't working. This has never been and will never be enough. We cannot find freedom in a drunk midnight, but they keep air and smoke in our lungs. And what are we fighting for if not breath?
Phones on silent, make me blue ultraviolet. All I wanna do is share, maybe get a like. You can keep your digits, I just want your website. Go with the signals, go with the night. Ride the wave, cosign and fade.
What's up? How's it going? All right.
Going good.
Going good. Great poetry. First off, awesome stuff. I suspect that we've all been saying your name wrong all night. Am I right?
It's Ravani.
Ravani. Have we been saying it right?
I mean, the accent's wrong. Like, I think you're saying it as much as like I can expect white people to learn how to say my name.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's crazy. I now work for a German company and I have the weird name for the first time in my life.
Oh.
Like everybody's name is like Kunte and Federico and it's crazy. Like everyone's like, yeah, they're mispronouncing Jason. Not really, but but yeah, how's it going? Great poetry. Loved it. I felt so intimidated by it. I had to put on my cap to seem more educated. So that So how's it go? So maybe we could talk philosophically now, you know? So I got my head on.
Yeah. Yeah, so that the first poem is a response to this philosopher Gloria Anzaldúa, who wrote this really cool book called Borderlands, and I wrote it as part of a senior thesis for college last semester.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
And
awesome.
then-
What thesis? What do you study where a poem is part of a thesis? I always think of that as like a big paper, you know?
Yeah, so I study women and gender studies. So the final project was a series of poems set to music and recorded. And so that's what will be popping up in my Bandcamp,
That's
I
awesome.
believe, next weekend.
Cool. Are we plugging that? Yeah, I see the Bandcamp in the chat. So
Mhm.
people could check that out. So that's not just good poetry. That's like some education shit. That's a thesis right there, right?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So how about the second poem? Is that also like responding to some poetry or part of the thesis?
So the second poem, one literally describes a failed break-in attempt that me and my friends tried to pull on my 21st birthday. There was this abandoned building on our old college campus, and my friend jumped from Metro Tracks onto a window ledge,
Oh my
opened
God.
the window, and was going to open the door for us. But an
Yeah.
alarm went off in the basement, and we all freaked the fuck out and just started running the other way. And then the
Damn.
second half of the poem was really a response to Charlottesville. You know, sort of that feeling of after such a major event, there's this need to fight back, this need to like get in the streets, do something.
Yeah, yeah.
But also,
I
you still
assume you're
have your
not talking
fucking
about
day
the
job.
attack. Talking about the other people, the good side. Sorry, the producer's fucking talking. I can't understand anything that's going on.
Yeah, wait, what was the producer saying? Because I heard the producer try to speak.
I don't know.
Okay, thank you, producer.
I'm telling you, these producers have been on my ass all day. I don't know what to do. I think I'm gonna quit the variety show.
I mean, now's a good time to do it.
Yeah, it's the last show.
Yeah, they don't care.
Yeah. So let me ask this: what's are you doing more? You also perform music on the show before, so
Yeah.
yeah. What are you working? Are you doing more music? Or are you doing more poetry? What's next for you?
You know, I flip-flop between the two. Poetry is like the art form that like I take seriously. It's like I want to go to school for it. I want to like teach it. Music is just really fun. I only started playing it because like I really like performing in dirty basement punk shows. And there's only so many dirty basement punk shows that like want a poet to open everything up.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I'm just getting nervous because I'm 32 and I don't drink anymore. So I'm like, can I even go to a 20-year-old's house? I feel like I would just feel horrible, you know?
I mean, there are so many sober 30-year-olds who are throwing punk shows now. It's its own little subgenre.
That's like, you know, it's kind of
Yeah.
embarrassing.
I mean, yeah.
Oh man, I don't know. All right. We're getting to the wrap up portion. So you did mention, yeah. So you're doing music, you're doing everything all the time, right? It sounds like.
Yeah, I also have an essay forthcoming in Anarchy, Journal of Desire Armed, in their third issue. It's about the apocalypse and sort of how that's a good thing. Because
yeah.
When the world ends, we get to go somewhere better.
Yeah, where do we go? What, don't we just die?
I mean, we can't know. We can't know. Like inherently.
I always just assume it's like a dreamless sleep.
Yeah.
You know, like you wake up, you can't remember, but hours have passed. I think it's gonna be like that, but for infinity.
I mean, honestly, that sounds great. I fucking love sleeping.
Yeah. We're all gonna be well rested. Sorry to anybody who believes in God in the chat. I know we got a lot of Christians at the show. But cool. Yeah, so people can follow you on that Bandcamp, and I think we plugged your Instagram or something.
I do have an Instagram. I don't use it, but I'm gonna start trying to. I'm gonna try and get good at the social medias. So if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's Ravani Grace.
Yeah, if you really want to get in, it's TikTok. That's where it's at.
Is that where I gotta go next?
Yeah. TikTok is good. It's like the
Jesus.
Wild West, you know? There's no censorship like on Facebook. this Facebook, and they won't let my president on Facebook anymore. Do you hear about that? No, I'm kidding. I hated Trump. I'm just happy we have a white president again, you know? No, I'm joking. I'm totally joking. But it was great to have you on the show. The poetry is awesome. You obviously are a good person trying to do good stuff. I'm a bad person saying bad stuff. So just joking about that stuff. Everybody give it up one more time for Ravani. Give it up for, was that right? Ravani. I can't learn. I'm a white man for life, you know. What can I do? Just continue to make everyone sad. All right, but give it up. You made us happy. Wonderful set, wonderful poetry. Clap it up for. I'm not gonna even try. Give it up. All right, we have one act left on the show. I totally botched that as I normally do. That last interview. So good job to me for ruining everything. We have one last performer, and he's a wonderful, beautiful musician. He's going to perform for you now. Ladies and gentlemen, go absolutely crazy for Wallace Tallman. Wallace Tallman.
I miss the girl that I love. I miss the world that I love too. All of them diamonds in the rough, and all those people that I know.
Cecilia June, what's this world got in store for you? I wanna give you everything I wish I knew before you know what hurts the most. Cecilia June, never thought I'd care quite like I do, but the promise of new life is kinda cool, and I hope you know you're a miracle. There's nothing in this whole world that you can't do. You're so much stronger than anything life throws you. So even when the storm won't seem to pass through, just sing this tune and remember that you are Cecilia June. What's that you say? I can't make out any words, but that's okay. I'm sure you'll speak your heart so clear someday, so full of love. You're already good enough. 'Cause Cecilia June, your value isn't something that you prove. It's always there inside that light in you. So just leave it on, and it will lead you home. So don't ever let them tell you what you can't do. You're so much smarter than all the lies life tells you. So even when your big plans seem to fall through, just sing this tune. Remember that you are Cecilia June. Remember that you are Cecilia June. Remember that you are Cecilia June.
Keep you locked in. A comfortable position's what I'm after. The illest. I never tire. Quit talking. It's
As
over.
I calculate my mind state. All right, give it up for Wallace Tallman coming to us from a halfway through a new construction house. We appreciate you. They got the frames in. We're crushing it. No, Wallace, that was amazing. That was that was some full-on need and do panties music for sure. You crushed it, man. Thanks for doing the show, dude.
Is that what that would fall under? That's the
Yeah,
genre
it's a specific category on Spotify. They got these genres down very specific now. It's no more rock and hip hop. It's very specific.
It's
Wallace, have you ever
about your goddaughter?
Yeah, exactly. Wallace, have you ever used music to make someone fall in love with you?
I've certainly attempted it quite a bit.
Hell yeah, that's the right answer. Nailed it. All right, next question. Yeah, I think that's probably the most, because if you can't play music, the only way you can get someone to fall in love with you is lie. So honestly, playing music good is probably the nicest thing you can do to get someone to fall in love with you, right?
I don't know. I think maybe an attitudinal adjustment about what's possible might be a good idea.
All right.
I think the truth is the way we're. I'm a truth guy. Songwriting, that's where the truth comes, and I suppose that's the only way to follow the truth is if you are writing songs. So maybe you are right.
See, Wallace came up really a lot of this happens. Don't worry, this happens a lot on the show. Wallace, people think that they're going to contradict me, and then they follow their own line of logic and they actually agree with me completely. It's all right. You're not the first. It happens. Wallace, I agree, man. No, I enjoy your. And I assume that's an original song you played, and it was beautiful. And yeah, like what is with something like that, because I think your lyrics are so good. Do you go lyrics first? Music first lyrics, or just kind of does it depend on the song?
It depends on the song. This one specifically was one of the more like magical ones. I had sort of written a poem. My goddaughter was born like 6 weeks ago and wrote a poem, and then kind of put my head down that night and had Cecilia June come when I hit the pillow, and it just kind of all came out at once in an hour or so.
So you have a goddaughter now, Wallace. So does that mean that you have rebuked Satan and all his practices?
Undecided. I think that there's room for light and dark. Maybe he gets a bad rap. Maybe they're working together more than we know.
Did you bring that up at the christening?
The christening hasn't happened yet.
Okay.
This half finished house is an Airbnb where my family is meeting. My goddaughter is asleep downstairs. I met her for the first time like 2 hours ago.
Oh, hell yeah. Give it up for babies, man.
Yeah,
we're still
give me
making them.
Snaps. Or her. Give snaps for her.
Yeah, good job. So what is the relation of the kid to you besides in spiritual sense? Is it like a sibling's child?
It's my niece.
Okay. Is your
niece or any sort of.
Okay, so this is your first time being an uncle.
Yeah, that's also quite huge. The Godfather was like the cherry. I wrote the song and then they were like, okay, you're the Godfather.
See, you did use music to make people fall in love with you successfully. It just wasn't romantic love.
I guess I didn't think.
Yeah, you made your sibling and their partner fall in love with you as the Godfather.
Wow. the perspective shifts that are going on tonight, I just didn't see it coming.
I do really want you when the priest asks you if you rebuke Satan and all his practices. I would like you to say, "Hey, man, in general, yes, but I do think there's room for light and dark." I want to see if he agrees with you.
I feel that, and also the God/light that I'm drawing from is not necessarily based in the building that we will have the ceremony in.
Bring that up too.
I'm a believer in a sense, and kind of in reference to the last one, theoretically this could be heaven right now and we just don't know it yet, and maybe we could just, it's a decision we have to make. There'd be no way to know. So
yeah, well,
the next couple of years go.
For sure. Wallace, I mean, I think that art can be seen as a spiritual practice, and I think that you have been the light for me today. You have closed out this show and our variety show in general in a very beautiful way. So that's what I believe. So I'm a believer in you. I'm a believer in what you did. So Wallace, thank you so much for doing the show, man. We really appreciate it.
You're too kind. Big shout out to Michael Gow, whatever. Big neighbor vibes, and thank you all for having me. This was a delight, and I hope to see you in the flesh and not the, what were we calling it before?
The
Virtual
new flesh, like
that.
Video drum. Yeah, the ones and
I don't
zeros.
know, I just want some skin.
Well, with tunes like that,
Cool.
I'm sure plenty of skin will be coming this man's way. Everybody give up for Wallace one more time. All right.
Thank you so much.
We got so apparently that we solved the Middle East, and real quick, just to close out this variety show, our season finale, we're gonna bring Jason back on one more time, and I believe this time they want us, the producer telling me we're gonna do about 45 minutes. We're gonna solve the crisis at the border. So
It's gonna take an awful lot.
Look at these hot
Make us all
guys.
forget about the way you bend the truth around your lives. We won't go away, no, not this time. If this is human nature, I don't wanna be human. Let's take out the erasure, try it over.
Jason, you look adorable.
Oh, thank you. I put on my plant costume.
Do you feel more like a plant than like a mammal?
Yeah.
Can you make
So,
your own food?
Dude, photosynthesis is basically coming for a plant.
But like into your own stomach, because that's their food.
Yeah. You don't come into your own stomach?
No.
That's what I do every night before bed.
But for sustenance or for fun?
Oh, not it. Sorry, onto my stomach.
That's different.
All right, this was horrible. Why are we talking about coming? This is
I don't know. You brought it up. I tried to yes and you, but I guess neither of us have gone through the Second City courses. That's probably why it failed. So
yeah, I forgot to take all those valuable courses.
yeah, it proves to you that they have value, right? Because we kind of fumbled there, and I bet we would have nailed it if we could have got some Tina Fey quotes.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
Jason, we like I said at the beginning of the show, we don't know exactly what is all coming up in general, but we do have a little bit of an idea of some of the stuff that's coming up on the channel.
Mm-hmm.
So you are part of like one of the coolest things that we got for sure planned and nailed down. So why don't you give that like a little plug? Tell people about that.
Before we plug that, let's give, before we talk about all our shit coming up, let's shout out to all the people on the show tonight. I want to give thanks to all the performers.
Whoa, making me look like a real piece of shit.
Yeah, man, don't be so selfish. We need to
real ninjutsu there. Real fucking conversational judo.
So I'm gonna say all the names except the one I can't pronounce, and you'll say that one.
I crushed that one, so I will do that one again.
Give it up for Daniel Myers, Kendall Klitsky, people in the chat, clap it up. Harley Foose, Coco Chanel,
Ravani Grace.
That's it. And Wallace Tallman. We got to give it up for Jackie Manti with the performance dimensions, Michael Gow for that cool intro video and for being neighbors with Wallace, and then Michael J. Garrity and Stephanie Duffy for directing, and all the other people who help us run the show, the producers, shout out to them. Thanks guys for watching. I will plug, we're doing no more variety shows for now. Is that correct? No more variety shows in the computer. We're hoping to maybe do one in real life at some point. And in the meantime, we are going to do a second episode of RoboCop 2. That's my live podcast with Adam Boughton, and we're going to have special guest Bobby Condon coming up. So pretty excited about that.
That's a good guest for RoboCop. I'm excited for that one.
He lives in New York, so it's a pretty big
gig.
Yeah.
Has he been on the show before? Or is this his first time?
We did an episode with him a long time ago, but I can't afford SoundCloud, so that all came down.
Yeah, I'm sure that's going to still be a great episode. I'm very excited for it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, yeah. So as I said up top, you follow us on social media at Open Studio Chai, and follow the guests on social media that you liked. Follow the ones you didn't like. They were all good. I thought they all deserve a follow at minimum.
Yeah.
Get behind that paywall if you can. If any of them have a paywall, get all up in them paywall guts. Do whatever you want to, but definitely follow us. Follow us here on Twitch, because we are still putting up stuff. Like I said, it's more just that the schedule's not firmed, and this is the season finale of this run of the variety show. So, but we're not done, so keep tuned. And again, if we go live, like in person or something, we'll probably announce that on social media. So give those a follow and be part of the Discord if you want to find out what's all going on in the in-between times.
What does it cost you to follow somebody? You can just follow us and then mute us.
Yeah, I've done that many times to people.
You so precious about your who you follow numbers? Are you that vain?
I think some people are, Jason. It's a wild world. Ooh, we just got to follow. You bullied Ravani Grace into a follow. Nailed it again.
Yeah.
3 for 3, crushing it. All right, Jason. Do you want to tell people the last thing under your bolded name?
Let me pull up the doc. Good night, everybody.
That's been our show. Keep following us. We'll open the Zoom chat if you want to hang out. If not, that's also okay. Me and Jason are going to talk about adrenochrome, so come join in. All right, later, everybody. Bye.
Nothing satisfies. I'd love to change if only I knew why. Chicagoland, 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 Chicagoland. It's got me down. It's got me down. Chicagoland, 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 Chicagoland. It's got me blue. It's got me blue. Why? Well, could be the taxes.